Hello gorgeous, my name's Mandy. Welcome to Mandy's Beauties. Today we're going to go over a quick eyeshadow tutorial as well as how to cover for acne and how to do color correcting for dark under eye circles as well. So today I will be using Maskcara Beauty. It is a makeup company. It has a lot of cream based foundations. This is my compact that I keep my personal foundations in. Foundation, contour, bronzer, and also some lip and cheeks. So it's really convenient. Everything is in just one compact. And they have a lot of different sizes and stuff. Maskcara Beauty is a cream-based makeup company. The eyeshadows, they have powder, and they do have some powder illuminators, but majority of the face products are all cream. And so that was something that was really new to me, but I absolutely love it. It has been a complete game changer without making the skin look kind of crepey around acne spots. As you can tell, I have a lot of that, and I've always struggled with acne. I probably always will struggle with acne, even when I'm not using any makeup at all. I just have very, very oily skin, and that is something that I'm trying to nail down my skincare regimen. But this makeup covers it beautifully without it looking cakey. So if you've ever used liquid and powders, you know how it'll settle up around acne spots, or if you have lines or wrinkles, a lot of times it'll just settle into that. The beauty about cream makeup is that it lays over the skin rather than like getting soaked into the skin, and it gives you a much more flawless and youthful look. So alright, let's get started. So today I'm going to be doing probably some like lavender color eyeshadows. I'm not 100% sure, but whatever I'm doing, I always start off with doing above my eyes first, because I want my upper lid, what's not going to be covered with an eyeshadow, to match what the rest of my face is going to be. So let's go ahead and do that. So I am just taking my main all over color, and for me that is Candlelit, and I am just applying that to my lids. And we are going to set with a powder. I'm going to go ahead and do all the way around my brows as well. Probably just do the whole upper forehead. So when I set with a powder, I won't have to worry about going back and doing it. So I'm going to just stipple over the active spots I have here. Move my little baby hairs out of the way. Okay. Alright, so we have our eyelids done. I have very veiny eyelids, so I always go over with either a concealer or a foundation color. Alright, now we are going to set our lids, and I'm just going to be setting with Airspun. And you always want to set your eyelids if you use an eyeshadow primer, if you use a foundation like I just did, concealer, whatever. If you use a cream or a liquid over top of your eyes, you always want to set with a powder, because this is going to give you a powdery base to be able to blend your eyeshadows out without it kind of sticking, because we don't want that, or we don't want it to try and stick when we're not wanting it to stick. You want to be able to blend it out so it looks nice and feathered and seamless. Okay, so today, move my stuff around here. Today I think I'm going to be working with these two eyeshadows here, and then a pop of this illuminator. So this is London, and this is Bend and Snap, and this is Glamazing. I'm going to be using those eyeshadows, I think, unless I change my mind. but I think that's the look that I want to go for today. Alright, so I'm just going to be taking an eyeshadow everything brush. So the great thing about the Maskcara Beauty brushes is they're all double-sided. So here we have a fluffier side, and then here we have one that's a little bit more dense, and it's for the crease. So I am just going to go into this color here, so that's London. And we are just going to work that in. And we're just going to feather that up. So I have very green eyes. You can see. And purples look beautiful. They really make my eyes pop. So I love using lilac and purple shades. If you've never tried them and you've always kind of been intimidated by using colors, girl, just give it a try. If you don't like it, you can always wipe it off. It's the beauty about makeup. You can have fun, you can change it up, and if you don't like it or if you made a mistake, it's really easy to fix. I'm trying to hold this to where it's not in y'all's way. And we're feathering that just nice and softly. I'm going to bring that out just a wee bit because we're always going to go back and cut and sharpen our line once we start doing our foundation colors. Now I generally always start with the eyes. There's sometimes that I just get ahead of myself, or if I do my face first and come back and do eyes later. I'm generally pretty messy when it comes to eyeshadow, so I like to have the opportunity to go back and clean up any fallout I may have, or to sharpen a line to kind of give it kind of a catty eye or something. There's been some live videos that you can go back and watch on my Facebook group, or I'll probably end up uploading these to YouTube as well. Just have them in a different category, Facebook Lives or something. But you can see the times that I haven't and just like the major fallout that I've had. And I would rather just do my eyes first and clean up later, but you know, everybody has their own routine and it's whatever works for you best. So if you prefer to do your eyes first and your face later, then more power to you. I'm just not that clean. So I am going to go through and I'm going to add just a little bit of this black color here, not a lot. I just want a little bit to deepen up that edge. Just add a little bit of shadowing and dimension. Just kind of feather that nicely. We don't want it to look like a black eyeshadow. We just wanted to add a little bit of darkness. Okay. So now we are going to go through, make sure I'm grabbing the right brush here. And we are going to add bend and snap. So I'm going to use my fingers first to get it nice and spread over the lid. And this is just a really beautiful kind of lavenderish color. It's really soft. And I'm just going to spread that all over my lid. And then we're going to go back through with a brush and some setting spray and make it really pop. So if you used a fluffy brush, it would actually come out lighter than what it is now. But using my finger, I'm getting rid of a lot of potential for fallout here. And, whoops. I need to wait, hold on. Always have makeup wipes handy next to your desk. They'll save your life. Alright, so let's get that off our finger. Alright, so I'm going to use rose water today. I have rose water right here. So I am just going to spray my brush, and I am going to dip into the same color that we just put on our lids, and we're going to make it more metallic. You can see how we just pick that up on our brush. I'm not sure if you can see on camera, but in person, that is just a huge difference in color. Okay. We're going to do the same thing, but we're going to go back with Glamazing, which is that illuminator right there. That rose water smells good. And we're going to pick up a little bit of Glamazing as well, and we're going to add that on our even more central area here, and just kind of fade that out. And that's just going to open our eyes a little bit more, and it's going to add some shape and dimension. Perfect. Alright, I'm just going to wipe off the excess there because I'm going to dip back into London, and we're going to go underneath our lash line. So we're just going to pick this up, and I'm not using a really fluffy brush here because I want to just be able to put it exactly where I want it without having a bunch of fallout. I'm doing pretty good today about not having a lot of fallout. I see a little bit, but not a lot. So we are just putting that eyeshadow right underneath our lash line. I said that, and then look, a bunch of fallout. Okay, we're going to take just a little bit of that Bend and Snap and put it right up under here. And that very, very, very inner corner here, we're just going to we see how we open that up. Alright, now with my now with our makeup wipe remover, we are going to clean up that fallout that we have. There we go. And we're just going to cut that line, make that nice and sharp. Alright, let that dry. As you can see, my skin, I'll get really red really quickly. If anything rubs up against it, obviously you saw how I just got super red. So if you're like me, yay, right? So as we're waiting for that to dry, I'm gonna grab a quick sip of coffee. Alright, so I'm not going to do like a super full coverage look today. This is just going to be a medium coverage look. I feel like I need to scoot back a little bit. I'm going to be taking my 30-second hack brush. But I'm going to be color correcting with this color here. This is Frenchy. It's actually a lip and cheek. So Maskcara Beauty has lip and cheeks that are blushes and lip creams all in one. You can also use them for eyeshadows too, which is pretty great, and as color correctors. And I'm back. Okay, so like I was saying, we are going to use Frenchy as a color corrector. So some of our lip and cheeks can double, and some of even our highlight shades, which is technically a foundation, but Maskcara Beauty calls it highlights, contours, lip and cheeks, and then you have your eyeshadows, and then at what traditional makeup would call a highlight, we call an illuminator. So I'll show you more of those a little bit later. So what I'm going to do today, this is normally my main shade, but yesterday I used this one, which is a little bit darker, and it did really well for me. So I think I am going to do that after I do my color corrector though, because I'm getting distracted. So I'm going to use Frenchy as a color corrector, and I'm going to apply that to my under eyes. And that's going to help combat my dark circles, because I don't get as much sleep as I should, because I don't go to bed as early as I should. So we're going to add some of that there, and we're going to work that in with a brush. And I'm going to add a little bit here just to kind of diffuse that out. And we'll put a little bit there too. So with the brush, we're just going to kind of stipple that in. Okay. So when you're putting your color corrector down, always blend it out, because when you lay your main shade over it, you don't want there to be like a harsh line where you can see where your color corrector was. You want to be able to lay your main shade over it and it work, you know, be nice and seamless underneath. So, okay, like I had gotten ahead of myself a little bit. I'm going to use this darker shade in some areas, probably over like where my acne and stuff is, maybe a little bit around the nose, but I'm kind of in between shades, I think. Even though Candlelit is a better match generally all over, I did apply Sandy, which is that darker shade. I did apply that all over my face yesterday, but I used a brush that only applied it lightly. So I think that made a big difference. Okay, so I did put some of that Sandy down over top, which is a little bit darker. Now I'm going to go through with my main shade. So my main shade is Candlelit here. And I have my brightener in another container over here. But so as you can see, right here, I just put my main shade and kind of dabbed it. It's kind of hard to see where it's at, except for when you're seeing it contrast with the redness there. It's a really good match. It's really close to my skin tone. So everywhere that I don't have a color corrector down, I am just going to swirl. The makeup, kind of just buffing it in quickly. But where I have my color corrector, we're going to stipple, because we don't want to move the color corrector underneath. Or we want to move it as little as possible. Okay, as you can see, we got some really great coverage. Now I'm just going to go through, because I feel like I have a little bit much on my face. I'm going to go through with my sponge. I'm going to lightly just, this is a damp sponge here. We're going to lightly just press that makeup in, and if we have too much product on our face, this is going to lift up some of it while pressing the rest of it in. It's also going to make it look more skin-like in texture. Okay. Now, really quickly, we're just going to go through with our contour before I do my brightener shade. So I'm just going to take, this is a Detail Hack brush, it's a flatter end, and I'm going to dip into my contour here. And we're going to create us some cheekbones and a jawline. So I'm going to find the top of your ear and angle down. And you can push up with your contour, but don't drag down. And I'm going to mostly stipple with just a little bit of pushing up, because I don't want to move the product underneath. I just want to add a shadow. Okay, again for this other side now. I'm mostly bouncing that. Okay, we're going to add just a little bit of contour up to our hairline here. Not a lot. Now, if you do have a larger forehead and you're wanting to minimize your forehead more, bring your contour down further. Sorry, messages. Clients. Okay, so now we're just going to add a little bit to our jawline. You don't want to go too high up on your jaw. I'm just going to carve out. So as you can see, it's kind of hard to see where my jaw is, but we're going to add a little bit of a shadow here and going to create more depth there. Just make sure to blend it. You don't want to look like you have a dirty neck or jawline. Now my neck is going to be red to start with, but that'll calm down. My skin flushes and gets irritated very quickly. You can also add a little bit underneath your neck here to add more shadowing, and that's also going to help minimize a double chin. Just like I said, make sure to blend because you don't want to look like you have a dirty neck. After that redness has calmed down, I'll show you. If you want to contour your nose, go for it. I'm not going to contour my nose. Alright, so now we are going to add a little bit of brightener. This side contour is darker than this side, so let me fix that. And we'll blend with our sponge again also. So with our brightener, I'm going to be using White Peach, and I have that in my larger compact. So for those of you who are makeup artists out there, All of my highlight and contour shades are in here. The other one is my personal palette. I do have, I'm out of my white peach, so I'm going to go through and use some of this one that's in my studio kit. So I am going to pick up a little bit of product there. And we are going to do an upside down triangle on both sides. And this is just going to give a subtle brightness. I'm not wanting to go for a super glam look. Otherwise I'd be going for even a shade lighter than this. But we're just going to add a little bit of dimension. So we're going to just add some brightness and lift that face a little bit. We're going to add just a little bit here to our central forehead. And right here also. We'll do a little bit whatever's left over on the tip of our brush. And let's go through with our sponge, because again, we want to pick up any excess product that we have that we don't need. Alright, we're going to go back through with our sponge. I needed to grab a mirror. And we're just going to press all the makeup in and do some blending. And we're just being really gentle with this. Okay, so we are going to add just a little bit of blush now, and I'm going to use Plum because it's my absolute favorite, and it has a little bit of purplish tones, so it's like a purpley mauve, and it is just gorgeous, and I'm most likely going to use that on my lips, or maybe even mix that in Black Cherry. So with our B squared brush, we're going to use this end here, and we're just going to dip lightly into our makeup here. Now these lip and cheeks, the matte satin colors are super pigmented. The glosses aren't quite as pigmented, but a little bit goes a long way, so just take it easy when working with them. So we're going to smile because we want to dot this on the apple of our cheek. Okay, now we're going to work that in nice and gently. And we're just setting that right above our contour. You don't want there to be a gap between your blush and your contour. See how pretty that is? And it's okay if it's a little bit strong because I am going to set with a powder. And a lot of times the powder will actually tone down whatever your blush is. So I'm going to go ahead and apply this to my lips, because of whatever I have left over I will end up adding to my cheeks as well. So this is Plum again. And once it's back in stock, I'm buying another one. This is my favorite color. This is probably my daily lip color. Is that or mixing this in Black Cherry. I'm gonna mix a little Black Cherry. So Black Cherry looks super intimidating, but it's a beautiful gloss. just add in our excess there. Don't want that to go to waste. And we'll just tap that in. Love it. So I'm going to go back in with our air spun powder. And I'm going to be using my sponge here. And I need a mirror. So let me grab that. So I'm going to just pick up some powder. And I'm not going to be baking. I'm just going to be pressing in where I get oily, because I am very, very oily. And it's not going to add any difference of coverage. This is just going to help mattify our look a little bit more. So, everywhere I get oily, which is mostly my T-zone, we're going to be adding powder. So if you have a lot of lines and wrinkles, I would not suggest setting with a powder. See how your face does without setting. Like I said, I am super oily, so I have to set with a powder. But if you're not oily or you're just a little bit oily, I would try not using a powder at all. Or if you get a little bit oily but you do have a lot of lines and wrinkles, try using a setting spray. Or if you prefer a matte look, try using a matte setting spray and seeing how that works for you, how the makeup holds without going through with a powder. Anytime you use a powder, it's going to accentuate lines and wrinkles, and that's what we don't want to do. So, alright, I'm going to do my brows because I completely forgot about those. Let's do those very quickly. And I am going to use Cola, which is a dark contour shade. And I'm just going to use that on part of my brows. I'm only going to do part of my brows with that, and the rest I'm going to do with a brow gel. So I'm going to take this really dark shade here. And pretty much we're just going to do the tail end of our brows with that, and then the rest of it we're going to do with the brow gel. So let's get that part drawn. So we're going to go through, and I bought a new brow gel yesterday. I got the NYX, and I actually got it in black. The espresso, it was a darker brown, but it wasn't dark enough for my brows. My brows are really dark, so it's kind of giving this like brown kind of cast to them, but you could still see two-toned in my brows. So we're going to see how this brow gel works. Seems to match my color really well. I just wasn't wanting to go for a super bold brow today. But still wanted to give some definition. Alright, I think I like that color. Let's do our lashes real quick. So I'm just going to curl my lashes with our little eyelash curler. And I have long lashes, but my lashes kind of go straight out, so I just want to give them a little bit of a curve. And we're going to look straight ahead when doing this, and then you just grab them and crimp. Now, I've seen some people do this after doing mascara. Personally, that terrifies me because I don't want to lose my lashes. And I've heard horror stories of that happening when you go to crimp. But I would not suggest doing it after already having applied mascara. I would do this prior to. So do the eyelash curl before applying anything to your lashes. That's my disclaimer. Okay. Now I'm just going to go through with some mascara. I'll probably speed this up too. And always do your bottom lash line, ladies. Alright, so where my lashes touched my upper lid, I have a little bit of a line. So I'm just going to take that brush that we used earlier and just going to clean that up. I don't feel like doing liner today. Alright, that is our finished look. I know it took a while for us to do this, but that's just because it's a tutorial. This full look would take me maybe 15 minutes to do if I was doing it by myself without like trying to explain anything. How do I know? Because I've done this look a lot. 20 minutes tops if you're going with a little bit of more fuller coverage. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed, and stay tuned for more videos. I will be posting more. I'm going to try and get stuff up weekly, and I'm also going to be doing tutorials on other people's faces and posting those as well. That way you're not just seeing my face over and over again. But I will also be uploading all my Facebook lives. But if you want to join my Facebook group, it's Hello Gorgeous by Mandy's Beauties, and you can find me on Facebook there, or just look up at Mandy's Beauties on Instagram and you can see some before and afters there as well. But if you enjoyed, please subscribe. I would really appreciate it. But I will talk to y'all later, girls.